Ironically, Candace Parker is in a little bit of a hot seat right now.
Yeah, she probably should go to
thoughts.
Chicago.
Candace Parker is facing a backlash storm unlike anything in her Hall of Fame career. In a league where speaking too highly of Caitlin Clark, without balancing it with equal praise for every other player, is treated as a crime, Parker crossed the invisible line. This isn't about one interview or one comment. It's about a WNBA culture that punishes anyone who dares to break from the mob-approved script.
I just think that when you bring opinions to the table, you got to have something to back it up. So you can't just say stuff.
Clark's rookie year was historic, 4th in MVP voting, a single-season assist record, and national recognition as Athlete of the Year. But the moment Parker refused to dilute her praise with hollow platitudes for others, the knives came out. The outrage isn't just about her words, it's about her refusal to bow to a system built on jealousy. Like, subscribe and comment if this obsession with controlling the narrative has gone too far.
It's fine to just say, just post the ratings. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. But like, it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
The details behind her public defiance reveal why this moment could split the league in two. The spark that lit this fire wasn't only Parker's praise, it was the truth behind what the league and its media partners have tried to hide. ESPN's coverage of this year's All-Star Game skipped a direct comparison to last year's event, the one Caitlin Clark actually played in. Instead, they cherry-picked data from 2023 to mask the drop. Had they shown the real numbers, the narrative would have crumbled. Ratings fell 36% without Clark on the court. That is a collapse that even the most loyal Clark critics can't explain away. Yet the coverage framed it as a thriving league moment, avoiding any acknowledgement of her economic impact. This was no innocent oversight, it was a calculated decision to bury the Clark effect under selective stats. Parker's refusal to play along made her a problem in the eyes of those desperate to control the story. And that was only the beginning of the pressure campaign against her. The tension exploded when the conversation shifted to Angel Reese. For over a year, the league has worked overtime to elevate Reese as Clark's equal, even when the numbers tell a different story. Ticket sales exposed the gap. Chicago moved to a 20,000-seat arena only for games against Clark, yet struggles to fill an arena half that size when she's not in town. Stat lines and on-court impact don't match the hype, but anyone pointing this out is branded a hater. This is the double standard Parker waded into. Clark's dominance is met with resentment, while Reese's shortcomings are shielded by aggressive promotion. Honest comparisons are treated as attacks, even if backed by facts. By refusing to pretend the gap doesn't exist, Parker challenged one of the league's most protected narratives. That defiance would soon put her in direct conflict with the WNBA's loudest and most unforgiving voices.
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons.
The narrative reached peak absurdity when former coach and ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck claimed the Indiana Fever might be more dangerous without Clark. The reasoning? She's a ball-dominant guard, so removing her supposedly made the team harder to defend. On paper, it sounded strategic. In reality, the numbers shredded it instantly.
We have to deal with the possibility that the Indiana Fever, right now, in this moment, are better without Caitlin Clark. And that sounds crazy, and people are saying, how can you say that? I'm saying it because we're seeing it.
With Clark in the lineup, the Fever are 8-5. Without her, they're 9-9. That's not a debate, it's a scoreboard. Yet this talking point kept resurfacing, pushed by those eager to undermine her value.
See, he always trying to push this CC narrative. She good, but she not that good.
Each time the team succeeded without Clark, the mob rushed to frame it as proof she wasn't that good. Parker saw this for what it was, a coordinated attempt to rewrite the truth in real time. By publicly dismantling the claim, she wasn't just defending Clark, she was taking aim at one of the league's favorite tools for erasing her impact. When Parker sat down on ESPN's First Take, she was handed the perfect opportunity to give a safe, politically correct answer about resentment toward Clark. She didn't take it. Instead, she delivered a direct challenge to the league's jealousy problem.
You know, it's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA.
Parker reminded viewers that her job as a player was to leave the game better than she found it, just as legends like Cheryl Miller did for her generation. She praised Clark's influence without tacking on the usual empty compliments for everyone else. The message was clear: stop being insecure and start embracing what Clark brings to the league.
Freakish floor vision.
Mm-hmm.
I know she had that 10 turnover game.
Yeah.
But that's something.
That's like a learning. I think all of us
Exactly.
young
She'll get-
turn the ball over.
She'll get better.
And especially when you're the focal point of the entire defense, you know, you're going to have more turnovers. You're going to have more live ball situations, and the competitive element of you do tend to take chances early on, and you learn that sometimes it might be a highlight, but 7 out of 10 times it's probably gonna be a turnover. And I had to learn that because I was, you know, some of the biggest things with Pat was like offensive rebounding and me turning the ball over. So those are the two things. I get it.
The reaction was immediate and hostile. Social media lit up with attacks, branding Parker as out of touch and accusing her of creating division. But what truly enraged critics was her refusal to backtrack. She had drawn a line in the sand, and it was aimed right at the WNBA's unwritten. The backlash hit another level when Parker ranked Clark as A tier and placed Reese at C tier during a discussion on player tiers.
This is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's going to raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, she got to have a couple more years. So then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
It wasn't an insult. It was an evaluation based on each player's ability to carry a team and be a primary scoring option. But in today's WNBA climate, anything less than calling Reese elite is treated as blasphemy. Angel's supporters flooded social media, accusing Parker of disrespect, while Cheryl Swoops chimed in with a thinly veiled warning about Parker returning to Chicago.
Yeah,
Or
she probably shouldn't go to
thoughts.
Chicago. You probably shouldn't send her back to Chicago. But go ahead, Jordan.
Instead of retreating, Parker doubled down, daring critics to name a player Reese should rank above from a list of established stars. None had an answer.
That being said, the facts that I want to bring to this table, and I challenge anybody to tell me, what player are you taking Angel Reese over of those that I just listed?
Guess we'll wait for their response.
Oh, we're not gonna, okay.
Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, in what player, and this is no disrespect, these are the greatest players in the game right now. They asked me to rank the tier right now. And I sit in a studio at Turner with Shaq and Chuck, and some of which I think at times they do individually and personally attack people's character. And I think I pride myself on trying to be an analyst that does not do that. I do not attack character. I literally am just, from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player. That does not make me a hater. Do I think she could be up there? Yes.
In a league addicted to protecting certain narratives, Parker's blunt honesty was gasoline on the fire. She had not only refused to bend, but had publicly challenged the mob to defend a claim they knew they couldn't. Parker's critics were still fuming when she took aim at another sacred cow, the WNBA All-Star Game. Players had worn shirts demanding fair pay, but when the game started, the performance on the court was lethargic and uninspired. Slow Euro steps, half-speed possessions, and a lack of competitive energy turned the event into a slog. Parker didn't hold back, calling it a missed opportunity to back up their message with a product worth paying for. She pointed out the obvious: without Clark, who served as a sideline motivator in street clothes, ratings would have dipped even further.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star game. Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
This year, she played assistant coach and bench cheerleader throughout the game. And I'm here to tell you, if she hadn't been actively participating in her street clothes role as the bench coach and cheerleader, I'll swear those ratings would have been down another 10%.
Her remarks weren't cheap shots, they were a reality check. But in a league hypersensitive to criticism, this candor only added to the list of offenses her detractors were tracking. Each statement was another reminder that Parker wasn't afraid to say what others wouldn't, and she still wasn't finished. Parker returned to one of the most persistent and damaging narratives, the claim that the Fever are better without Clark. She dismantled it piece by piece, acknowledging that Clark's absence allowed other players to step up, but making it clear that her return would elevate the team to another level.
They're not better without Caitlin. But I do feel like times like this, different people step up. Just like Natasha Howard stepped up during the Commissioner Cup. Like, it shows.
Sitting beside Aaliyah Boston, Parker stressed that adding Clark back into a roster already finding its rhythm would make them a legitimate contender. There was no bitterness from Boston, no division in the locker room, just agreement. Parker framed the situation as a long-term advantage, warning that those pushing the anti-Clark narrative were ignoring the obvious. A stronger Fever with Clark on the floor means higher stakes, bigger crowds, and more national attention.
It honestly is scary because not only are you allowing other people to step up, but you're allowing Caitlin to then survey and realize how she can add.
For those threatened by her success, that's the real fear. And Parker had no problem saying it out loud. Candace Parker's recent stance has revealed a stark divide in the WNBA. On one side are those willing to put ego aside and prioritize the league's long-term growth. On the other are voices more concerned with protecting status, pushing selective narratives, and tearing down the very player fueling record attention. Parker's defense of Caitlin Clark, her blunt assessment of Angel Reese, and her willingness to call out mediocrity have made her a lightning rod. The same people demanding that fans respect the legends are now attempting to discredit one for refusing to play politics. Parker's message is simple: celebrate excellence, raise the standard, and stop letting petty jealousy dictate the conversation. Without Clark's draw and leaders like Parker willing to say what needs to be said, the league risks throwing away its best chance at lasting relevance. The choice for the WNBA is clear, but so is the cost of getting it wrong.